Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's another Tuesday, which means it's another time to have another Get to Know Her show, which is so wonderful. I look forward to this so much. And thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in, taking time out of your busy schedule to hang out with us and learn some new things from another inspiring woman. Today, I have Julie LeJeune joining us. She is the founder of Wish and Give. Julie has worked in the nonprofit sector. Well, she had worked in the nonprofit sector for almost 20 years. And then she decided she wanted to go out on her own. She wanted to build her own company. And there were two things that she saw that were lacking when it came to charitable organizations and sort of what people needed. So number one, the first thing that was lacking was that the smaller charities were not getting enough support. So they were having enough trouble just keeping their lights on and paying their rent. They were not getting the support that they needed. Number two was that people wanted to help, but they didn't always have the time to help. People didn't have time to volunteer. And that was a big issue as well. So Julie created her company. It's called Wish and Give, and it gives everybody an opportunity to give back in the easiest way. I've used her a couple of times, and let me tell you, it is easy. So I can't wait to talk to her. I can't wait to hear her story, find out what inspired all of this, what little Julie wanted to be when she grew up. And I'm going to bring her on in just a moment. But before I do that, I wanted to thank so much my amazing sponsor, once again, Brenda Bedome. I'm dressed in Brenda today, and I'm actually I did a fun little thing on my Instagram story today to show retro Brenda mixed in with new Brenda, and I wondered if you guys could tell which was which. So her styles are classic. You can wear them for years and years. I'll give it away. So this jacket, and it also has a matching skirt. I don't know if you can see. There you are. This is, I would guess, Brenda, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's almost 10 years old. And it washes. It doesn't wrinkle. I can scrunch this up, throw it in my suitcase. It's the best. So I don't want to oversell what Brenda no longer has available, but I do want to tell you that anything you choose from Brenda Bedome's website, you'll be so happy with. It'll last you forever, and it will always be in style. So make sure to go to her website, brendabedome.com, and don't forget to use the coupon code Get to Know Her, because that's going to get you 13% off, which is a very generous offer from Brenda to all of us. Now, let's not wait any longer. Let's bring Julie on. Here she comes.
Hello.
Here we go. Julie. Oh, I think I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty today, but
I see you now.
Not much. Let's try that again. Here she comes. See, Julie?
Yep, oh, I see you. There is a lag.
I don't know why she's bouncing. Well, Here we go. Are you there, Julie?
Yep, I can hear you. Us? I can hear you. God, I can see you.
I can hear you. I can see you. And I love that we had a nice big grand entrance for you. We teased the people a little. Here she is. No, she's not. Here she comes. No, she's not. It's perfect. It's perfect. Julie, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here.
In my camera, but I'm going to try. There we go.
Oh, you're good. And you've got those beautiful windows behind you. I love.
Yeah, nice old Toronto houses.
Oh, you know what? My grandmother, she lived at Pape and Danforth on a little street called Woodycrest. Mm-hmm. And every time I see those windows, and, it just reminds me of her house, and so cozy and lovely. And yeah, it's great. Actually, I don't know if you remember this, Julie, but last year you came to visit me at One of a Kind.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And how are you doing? Oh my God, I can't believe you're standing on your feet for all these days. And then he said, where are you sleeping? You can just crash at my house. And I was like, oh my God, that is so nice.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know how you do those shows. It's got to be so tiring.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not going to happen this year. And it's interesting. I mean, I'm going to miss it for sure, but we got to just go with the flow here. We can't wallow in that stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah. Tough one for all the artists. I really feel for all those artists. That was a big, opportunity for everyone that they come every year. I mean, especially like you, right? That's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. Julie, I love Wish and Give. I love you. I love what you stand for. I love all the amazing things you're doing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I'm really excited about the timing of our interview because I just launched this week our Three Little Wishes jewelry, where we raise money for a family who's suffering with cancer. And oh my gosh, the response has been phenomenal. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like, here I'm doing my Three Little Wishes. Yeah. I got Wish and Give coming up to talk even more about how the power of giving back to others, right? And so everything, I feel like the stars all lined up. I feel the magic wand of Wish and Give this week, for sure. So I wanted to start with asking you what we all want to know is what little Julie wanted to be when she grew up.
What did I want to be? I think, it's funny. I think my earliest memory, I feel like we had to write it down in kindergarten or something. And I wanted to be a Wimbledon tennis champ.
Really? Yeah. Who was your inspiration? Did you have, were you looking up
Chris
to it?
Evert. This is the early 80s, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Martina Navratilova, Chris Evert, those kind of people.
Wow.
That didn't happen, obviously. Tennis didn't even. I played tennis throughout high school. I still play, but I played in high school. But then it was done.
Well, I have to say, since we're talking about sports, I loved your Instagram story yesterday where you were off on your run and you were showing the beautiful green, but also the little bit of snow that came.
No, yeah,
we had the 2 seasons were.
Yeah, the beautiful fall trees and then a dusting of snow. So it's November in Toronto.
It is November. That's right. Aw. So you wanted to be a tennis star.
Yeah, I think that's my earliest memory of a career that I wanted to do.
Okay. And so how did you end up in the nonprofit sector? What took you there?
So that a long story. I think I'd always always been involved in basically community kind of work, charity aspect of some sort. So, and I've had a couple different careers. I can, do you want the long story or the short story?
Oh, hey, we got time, man.
We got time.
We want this. I love the details.
Yeah. So I went to university, basically undeclared. I didn't know what I wanted to major in. So I took a bunch of different courses, and ended up falling in love with nutrition. And majored. So my major was in community nutrition, with a minor in psychology. So did that, and what inspired me. So this it all is sort of linked here. Is what inspired me was community nutrition and international nutrition. So when I sat in my first Nutrition 10 course, way back when, with 500 people in an auditorium or classroom, they call it. And learning about the micronutrient deficiencies for the first time. I mean, I had when I grew up, we were encouraged to finish our plate because they're starving children, but you don't really understand, right? And then when I was taking the science courses, going, oh, there's actually diseases from lack of vitamin C, lack of vitamin D. It's equivalent, to a real disease. And this is simple vitamins and minerals that I took for granted because my food appeared at the table. I went to the grocery store, or my parents did, right? So we didn't suffer from food insecurity as a family growing up. So really kind of light bulb moments for myself when I was 18, 19 in university. And realizing there's something you can do about that. I think also just having an adventurous spirit myself, wanting to travel and see the world. I'd been exposed to some countries as a youth, but really wanting to understand the world around me. So my main goal, I entered with a major in nutrition, focus on international nutrition. My goal was to go overseas and work. So I got myself to Malawi, a small country in Southern Africa, East Africa. And I lived there and volunteered for a year. And
how old were you then, Julie? How old were
I
you
was,
at that time?
I was 25, 26.
Okay. And had that been your first trip off of out of mom and dad's house kind of thing, or out of Canada?
No, I'm actually American. I moved here in 2003 to Canada, but this will all like come full circle. So the organization, I went with a Canadian organization to Malawi. So that was my first connection, and that's how I got back to Canada. And so but being 25, I'd already lived away from home for university, but I do remember kind of the first time where I made the decision, I'm going to Malawi, and accepted the offer, called up my parents and said, guess what? I'm going to Malawi. And, at that crux of young adulthood where you don't really have to ask permission, and feeling old enough to be like, yep, this is what I'm doing. But they were supportive of my dreams. They all knew I wanted to go overseas, and we've been trying, any way possible to get overseas and get the experience. So yeah, I had an amazing, incredible year in Malawi volunteering on a nutrition program that was funded through the Canadian government. And so learned a ton. Living overseas is an amazing experience. So
and how brave of you to go somewhere like that.
I didn't feel brave at the time, but I knew, I wanted it. I was, I couldn't have stayed home at that point in my life. I needed to travel and see the world.
Right. So. And while you were over there, was there any fear or was there any angst while you were there? Were you just feeling like this is something I need to do and whatever, I'm just in it?
Yeah, experiencing it. It's not easy at times, right? You're living in a different culture and feeling out of place sometimes and not understanding the world around you, but that's the experience and that's why you go and that's what you're learning and that's why you're there. Fondest memories of my time there.
Wow.
Yeah, some incredible people, incredible country, incredible issues and challenges, but also huge beauty and opportunities. And so
that's wonderful.
And then that kind of came full circle. So the organization I was working for in Malawi, or partnering with, basically a couple years later, I ended up moving to Canada, to Toronto, to work at the head office here. So so it's easier. So it was with I was with a small organization. We partnered with World Vision, who had a government CETA grant. It was CETA at the time, Canadian government grant. Anyway, so long story short, full circle, came back to work at World Vision in Canada, in Toronto, at the Mississauga office in 2003 on the nutrition team. And then
oh my gosh, now I gotta get personal here.
Yeah.
What year were you there? When would that have been?
For Malawi.
I was with World Vision.
I was with World Vision from 2003 to 2016.
Wow. Okay. Canada Post. And from, I think, 04 to 06, they were my Canada Post account. So we'll have to talk about that later. I knew some people there.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. It's such a great organization. Yeah.
I
the
probably
work passed you in
incredible.
The hallway, maybe.
Absolutely incredible on the ground.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm trying to pause because I know we have a delay here.
Yeah, that's okay, Julie. I think you're good and I'm the one who's delaying us. So you keep going with so now you're at World Vision. Take us.
Okay, so taking it through. So I worked on the program side with World Vision for over 14 years, traveling back and forth to, at first, all over Africa. And then my last position there was with the Asia team and working with all our countries in East Asia. Then I was working closely with our major donor fundraising team in partnership with them. I understood the field, I understood our programs. And so then I kind of fell in love with, through that experience, really fell in love with fundraising and connecting donors to our programs and helping Canadians realize their philanthropic goals and dreams. Because not everyone could have the position that I did. I got to travel to these places, but it was incredible to be able to connect with other Canadians and share that experience and get them involved in the same work as their, CEO or something here in Canada, or a Canadian citizen, and involved in the work that we were doing. So really fell in love with that. At the time, I had 2 young kids. The travel became difficult for me on a personal level, very personal level there. The travel became too much for me. So I decided to leave. And in that time, basically came up with the idea of Wish and Give and starting my own business. So kind of, crazy at your early 40s to, leave a steady full-time job and start something on your own. It's a little insane, but it's been quite the journey. And so yeah, like what you mentioned in the beginning is kind of the 2 aspects of this is, one, connecting Canadians with charity and fundraising in a fun and easy way, and then empowering kids to be able to give back. They're our future generation. They're amazing. They're all passionate about some kind of cause. And so through Wish and Give, which we can explain what that is in a minute, is being able to help these kids put their passion into action and give back, and helping parents to be able to teach their kids those values. And so there I came full circle all the way to Wish and Give.
Wow, that's incredible. And Julie, I love how we should talk about Wish and Give and how it's set up, but I really like that you set it up as something where it's like, give $2, give $20, every little bit helps. You're not talking about big numbers, you're talking about a lot of people using your services, and all the little amounts add up to something substantial for these smaller organizations who don't always get noticed, right? It's usually the big guys who are getting most of the exposure out there. And that's what I love. Like, so for anybody a lot of people who are watching may have even attended, I've had a couple of events at my studio where I've used Julie's program, and I was able to select, one of them was for Dress for Success. So I just asked all of my guests if they would donate $10 to come, plus donate clothes when they got here. But they all happily did that, and it wasn't a huge ask, but we had quite a few people here, and we were able to give a nice cash donation through you guys. And it's great. And your directory, I mean, it's so easy to use to set up the invitation. And then your directory just goes on and on and on. So, I think it's great too that you're always open to people letting you know about, hey, what I have this organization. If they can't find it, they can always reach out to you, and you can add it to the list. Or yeah, it's great. So maybe you want to walk us through your website and how it works if somebody did want to host an event or a party.
Yeah, so basically what it is invitation or ticketing platform. So basically exactly like Evite or Eventbrite, but with a social conscience. And so as Monica's mentioned, you would put up, it's wishandgive.ca, wishandgive.ca, and then you would put up your invitation online. So you put all your party details in, you can put a personalized photo at the top or graphic. And then your guests, on the invitation side, your guests are then asked to contribute to a group gift and a donation to charity in lieu of individual gifts. So amazing way, especially for kid parties, to be able to teach kids about giving and putting their passion into action. They still get a gift, so it's not completely altruistic, but it is their birthday after all. And then they can use that cash for like a bigger gift or for an experience or save it or whatever. And then the donation goes to the charity. And then like Monica's used it for events. So on the ticketing side, same as Eventbrite, you would set up your event, and then you add your ticket price and a donation price. You choose a charity, and then your guests are contributing to both through their ticket price. And so you can give back, and so that's basically how it works.
You know what I really love, Julie, as well, is that you, with parents' permission, you feature a lot of the kids on your social media who have used it, and really show them as heroes, and what they did to give back, while celebrating their birthday party. And that's got a huge impact on a child, because I can even say, my parents were always about being kind and giving, but we weren't out there I would do like the walkathon or whatever it was for a give back, but sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around the impact of what it is you're doing, especially as a young kid, right? So even for me in my business, when I first started my 3 Little Wishes program, and I was giving back to families, there was a part of me that felt this like guilt feeling, like, oh my gosh, I'm giving back, but I'm also benefiting, and I can't reconcile with this in my head. And it wasn't until one of the people, the first family we worked with, he said to me, I'm honored that what I'm going through now, I feel like I'm giving back to you too. Like you're giving to my family, but I'm also giving to you because of my story. And this exchange of giving, I think it's such a good lesson to learn as a young person. And I wonder too, do you sort of teach that to your children? Was that something your parents taught you at a young age, or?
I think giving and participating, volunteering, participating in community events was always a part of our childhood. Donating, I think somewhat of donating. I think more actions. I feel like we're always involved in something in the volunteering charity sector. Yeah,
that's great.
And now I find like kids, like I have this little kid. Actually, I mean all of them, but there's one little boy who he used his birthday twice, like back-to-back years, fundraising for the polar bears, and he is convinced as like a 7-year-old that he has saved the polar bears, and it's awesome, right? Like imagine what kind of adult he's gonna be, that he's that empowered, that he has at his 7, he's like, I fundraised for my birthday and I have helped save the polar bears. He's convinced of this, and I think it's beautiful, right? Like he's like our future is in such great hands with these kids that are already knowing that they can make a difference. It doesn't matter their age or where they are in life.
Right. And that this is what I love about you, that it makes your offering so different. I mean, we can do bike-a-thons, walk-a-thons, all those things are very important. I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing those, but when you're a little kid and you're doing those things with hundreds of other people, you're not really grasping what's going on here. But with you actually give that child an opportunity to shine and to make them feel like maybe they are the only person who's saving the polar bears. And it shows them their own power, because right now, especially the world we're living in right now, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. There's a lot of people don't know what's coming next with this crazy year we're having. But I think people, no matter what your age, more and more you're realizing like, okay, I probably can't save the whole world, but there are little things I can do. And just like you with the donations, the little steps, those little amounts of money, it all adds up to something huge.
Yeah. And exactly. It's empowering them to take action, and not just, I think as adults too, we tend to just get overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, the problems in the world are too huge. How can we even make a difference? If you start thinking of everything, and you can go down a rabbit hole of overwhelm and fear. But I guess because I've come from the charity sector too, I've seen how these charities are working day in and day out with passion, with commitment. They're doing some really, really good work, and they need the support of us Canadians to keep going, right? And so really wanting to connect that, and then even, and especially for kids to be able to make a difference. And like you said, I mean, the money adds up. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone contributing $5, $10, $20, and all of a sudden we're sending a couple $100s to these charities. And especially some of the small charities that really need it.
Right. And I'm curious to know, what's your relationship like with some of these small charities? I mean, you must be like this angel with your wand, throwing down that's how I see you. It's just like, oh, hi there. I'm wishing give. I know you've never heard of me, but here you go. Here's some money.
Yeah.
And then they know about you. And
one charity, they wrote me back. They're like, oh my goodness, we didn't know if we were going to make payroll that month, and here your donation came in. And so, it's pretty incredible to be able to give them fully undesignated money. They can use it to pay their insurance. They can use it to pay their rent. They can use it to pay, some of those costs that are hard to fundraise for. No one really wants to, think about those things that a charity needs. Like they need to pay their staff. They need to pay their rent. They need to pay their insurance, all of that. And so this money comes in undesignated, which is it's a term in the industry, but basically it's saying we're not just, giving it to goats per se or something. You don't have to purchase something specific with it. So,
yeah, that's really great, because I know a lot of times people will say, "Oh, I'm giving $20, but how do I know it's going to the cause? How do what if it's going to admin fees and all this?" But I mean,
it's important still.
It's still important, and not every charity is run by volunteers. There are some, which is great, but
most have an
they're
overhead
not all
cost
run that way.
Yeah.
Of course.
So.
Yeah. Oh, Julie, I love that. That's so great. I had another question on the tip of my tongue. What was it now? I know what it was. What we were talking about before, which we both don't really have an answer to. We fully admitted to ourselves, but how are we going to all get together and have parties now? How are we going to do it?
I don't know. That's I don't know. I mean, it's interesting because just coming off of Halloween too, we had such a great little community gathering here in my neighborhood, on my street, and it was so nice to see everyone. And then it's like, oh my goodness, the weather's getting cold. How are we going to do this? I mean, for kids, I think one of the main thing is, especially for kids and their birthdays, is it's been such a rough year for them. And I know they're resilient. Even my own kids they surprise me, but I feel for them to have to miss their birthday with their friends. So I know I've partnered with some people to do virtual birthday parties. Okay. And it works, and it can be really fun. We've got some great entertainers, like a magician that's amazing, and he'll moderate the Zoom call with all the kids, so you don't have to moderate that craziness. I mean, perfect. Because it's cold now. Like summer was okay. Like even my son, his birthday was in September, and I was able to have 3-4 kids over in the backyard. They all put on their masks, and we had individual food. We didn't have any shared food, and I did it safely. But now with the weather, it's tough. It's really tough, and I feel for these kids. But I feel like we need to keep the kids in mind, and keep the focus on them, and how do we make things easier? How do we keep things fun? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and it's amazing, like people are doing gala events and all kinds of things online now. So you're right, it can all be done. I went for a walk the other day, and I walked by a house. The guy had like a big tent, like one of those canopy tents set up in his tiny backyard. It took over the whole backyard. And then he had the heater going in there. And he had a neighbor over. They were 6 feet apart, and they were having a beer. And I thought, well, that's pretty nice. But I don't know if that's going to be possible in January.
I know.
But I know Canadian Tire. Everyone's sold out of those heaters for the backyard, the outdoor heaters. Yeah. Wow. So this will be interesting, know, and I guess that's a challenge for you too, Julie, is getting kids involved in like, online party stuff and giving people tips on what they can do
Right.
to make their online party
Yeah.
really exciting and fun for their children.
And I think it's important. I mean, I know it doesn't sound off the bat, it doesn't sound as fun to do it online. Like I think as adults, we're all kind of tired of Zoom calls and stuff. But
Yeah.
again, I don't know. I just feel for the kids. I think we need to try it and to do it. And I mean, the ones that we have posted have been great, and the kids all do have fun. And I know as a parent, like I still want to give a gift to your kid. So it's like it's okay to keep asking for gifts. I'm very happy to contribute. It doesn't mean just because it's virtual, it doesn't mean they have to go without a gift. And that's what I mean. Wish and Give makes it even easier. It's virtual. There is no shopping required, right? So, and the kid can still order something that whatever, not go shopping or order something online that they really want, right? So yeah, I have to admit I'm a little not nervous. I don't know what the right word is about going into the winter. I think it's just a little overwhelming even for me, right? Like we used to travel every winter. We won't be able to do that. So yeah, but then the kids, the poor kids.
I know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. One thing I am looking forward to is that whenever we have, these well, not that any of us are used to this, but whenever you're going into something like this where you're thinking, oh my God, how are we going to survive? Like COVID came in March, at least we had the summer to look forward to. But, it's like, this is the time when people become more and more creative. I mean, you can go, one of two ways. You can get really depressed about it and, and upset and not be able to deal, or you can do like what you're doing where, we can still, parties are still important. We can still do this. We can still have fun. We just have to do it in a different way. And this whole idea of sharing, even what we're doing now, like, having you here to talk to everybody, it's great because you're sharing your ideas, inspiring other people. And I think together we can get ourselves out of that slump because it's so easy to go there.
Oh yeah.
It's really tough.
And even Halloween, like I am encouraged by that because I mean, when they first said it was canceled, the trick or treating was canceled. I have to say, my heart broke for these kids. Like they've had, so much thrown on them, and again, they're resilient. I know they are, but I feel like people really were creative, right? Communities came together, and it ended up being almost a better Halloween. My kids said it was the best Halloween they ever had, and it was great because of so again, like we are resilient, we are creative beings to come up with something, a different solution. So we came up on our street with a safe solution to, again, keeping the kids in mind, the focus on the kids, and they all had a great time. So yeah, it isn't. So that's where I am kind of excited. Okay, what's going to happen this winter? How are we going to continue to be in community and keep some of these celebrations going? I don't have the answers, but I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. But because you're right, because otherwise it's overwhelming. I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's getting dark. I just want to, curl up in my jammies on the couch and hibernate for 6 months.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. But even, Julie, like even these subtle things like you posting on Instagram, your run with the fall colors and the snow on the ground. Like I looked at that and I could smell the fresh air. I was like, and nature, I've talked about this with other guests too. It's huge. It's such a big part of this. And, I'm sure now you're probably, getting up earlier, doing your runs earlier because it's brighter outside. And, maybe your day starts early. Are you not a morning person? No, me neither.
Not a morning exerciser. I get up at 6:30 and I have my own routine in the house by myself in the quiet with my coffee and my journal. But that I exercise a little bit later after the kids go to school.
You know what? It's so funny. So I was trying, I'm not a morning exerciser, but I know I will never do it in the evening.
Mhm.
So what happens is instead of just getting up, I go, oh God, I don't want to jump up and down and do all this stuff right now. I'm just going to hit the snooze. So then I end up exercising later because I hit snooze. So now I'm actually doing what you do. I'm like, don't exercise right away. Just get up, and I do a lot of writing. So I'm like, start
Mhm.
writing, or,
Mhm.
like with the journaling, enjoy a cup of tea, like let your brain kind of wake up. And now I'm getting a better workout because I'm giving my body a chance to catch up and, yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
let's
I like
face
that
it.
schedule. Yeah. And make it a
Yeah.
schedule
When I
then.
was,
Say, okay, give yourself an hour and then I'll exercise.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. No, I mean, I know we look 25, but we're not 25 anymore.
Oh no.
Oh gosh, no. So Julie, how can people get in touch with you
Yep.
and
They can find me. So the
do the
website is wishandgive.ca. And you can find me on social at Wish and Give, and on Instagram and Facebook, and Twitter, Wish Give at Twitter. And my email, Julie at wishandgive.ca. If you want to ask any more questions, feel free to reach out, DM me on social. And yeah, I'd love to host your next virtual, like at this point, virtual party. And
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be great. You know what? I need to talk to you about a Glam Jewels virtual party. I've been thinking about it.
Ooh.
I'm celebrating 20 years in business this year.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
I keep thinking, I've only got a couple more months left to do something. So anyway, maybe you can help me with that.
Yeah, we should be
I would love.
brainstorming that. What can we do for
Yeah. What can we do?
virtual shopping and
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it'd be great. Julie, thank you so much for all your time today.
thank you. It was great
I'm
to talk to you and catch up.
Yeah, it's so great. And I'm sorry about the little internet lag, but this is what happens when you go
Life.
live. Yeah. It's life. That's
We
right.
did it.
We did it. And I will see you for an after party on Instagram Live.
Okay, sounds good. See you there.
I can't wait. Okay, see you there. Got to get my specs on, you guys. Here we go. Thank you guys so much. I have no idea what's going on with the internet today. We're having a little bit of an issue, but thank you for sticking with it, standing by. Julie is wonderful. Wish and Give is an amazing company. Please check her out. Please consider her for your next online virtual party, and you better invite me. I'd love to come. Take care. Enjoy your Tuesday. Thank you for watching the Get to Know Her show. Don't forget to go and visit our friend Brenda Badome at brendabadome.com. Use the coupon code Get to Know Her for 13% off, and get yourself some awesome clothes that will last and last and last forever. Take care, you guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.